Today we have a very special guest, Dr. Varsen Aghabekian Shaheen. She is the Palestinian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Thank you for joining.
So I will start with a question. How do you see India-Palestine relationship?
India and Palestine have had a very friendly relationship for decades. It started in 47 when India objected to the partition plan. India was one of the first to recognize the PLO as the sole representative of the Palestinian people in the 70s. India recognized the state and is a two-stater, and as such we've had a very good relationship. India is very supportive of our developmental projects. We have many projects in Palestine that were implemented with support from India. India was engaged in humanitarian assistance in the West Bank and Gaza. So generally speaking, India has been supportive of Palestine in international fora, in voting for resolutions related to Palestine. So as I said, generally speaking, the relationship has been very productive and positive.
Dr. Varsen, how do you see India's role? India serve as a potential bridge builder for peace efforts in Gaza. How do you see India's role?
India is a friend with both Palestine and Israel. And friends who have leverage with both can actively play as a bridge. And as such, we would support and embrace any role that India would place in that regard. That is built on international law, the rights of people to self-determination, and forging peace in an area that has been plagued with instability for too long.
Now you are currently in New Delhi for the second India-Arab Foreign Ministers meeting. What are the Palestinian authorities' key expectations from this forum?
This is an important forum because it brings foreign ministers from the Arab world and to hold a discussion with Indian counterparts. And I'm sure the issue of Palestine would be at the forefront. So it's important to discuss, to see where things are going, what the vision is, what engagements can take place and so forth.
And particularly I'm asking this because in terms of advancing support for Palestine's statehood and humanitarian efforts in Gaza, I'm asking what are...
Well, Gaza would need a lot. Everybody around this globe needs to chip in. This is an international responsibility. And India has supported in the past, and I'm sure it will continue supporting in the near future, not only in Gaza, but also in the entirety of the occupied state of Palestine on the West Bank as well.
And if I talk about how do you see India's role on reconstruction efforts there, if I may ask?
Very important, because everything in Gaza is in shambles. Most of the infrastructure has been destroyed. And to remove that rubble and to reconstruct Gaza, it will take years. So that will require a lot of funding, it will require a lot of human resources, it will require a lot of technical assistance. And India, with its capabilities, may have an important role.
What is the current situation, if I may ask? So the entire, country of ours and the entire world, if we want to ask you about the current situation in Palestine, how is it? How bad it is?
Well, it's very volatile. In Gaza, there is the peace agreement that has been signed. There is a ceasefire, albeit it's a partial ceasefire, because since the agreement was signed, we have had some 700 Palestinians killed and probably 3 or 4 times that number injured, and about 3,000 infrastructure entities have been destroyed. So it's not a full ceasefire. What is needed is to go into a full ceasefire that becomes sustainable. Because if we want to start relief efforts, immediate relief and reconstruction efforts, you need a full ceasefire. We hope that we can embark on the second phase of the Trump plan with the opening of the borders, with the entry of humanitarian assistance, and the actual work on the building on the ground and providing the immediate relief. On the West Bank, it's also very volatile because the Israeli policy is the same. In Gaza, it has been the atrocities that we have witnessed in the last 2 years, but in the West Bank, it's a different kind of implementation of the policy. There's a lot of annexation of land, a lot of built up of illegal settlements, the unleashing of armed settlers who terrorize the lives of Palestinians 24 hours, a lot of violations of human rights, and that also needs to stop.
But you know, Dr. Varsen, Israel is very adamant. You know, Israel is saying there will be no reconstruction work till the time Hamas is disarmed. What do you have to say about this?
Well, there's an agreement that has been signed. There are guarantors for that agreement. We need to see that the items of that agreement are implemented as in the agreement. And we hope that Hamas does whatever is needed to ensure that we are preserving our national project, that of the unity of the occupied Palestinian territory, which is the state of Palestine, and preserving the lives of our people, whether on the West Bank or in particular today in the Gaza Strip.
And President Trump has a Gaza peace plan. Your view on that?
A peace plan for me is one that today immediately has a ceasefire, imposes a ceasefire, ensures that that ceasefire is sustainable, preserves lives, and moves us to something bigger. That something bigger is tying all measures to international law, to respecting the rights of Palestinians to self-determination, to ensuring that this peace plan is tied with the New York Declaration that stipulated very clearly what needs to be done to move us from where we are today to the path of sovereignty and independence. And in that regard, I wish to look at the peace plan as a light in a very dark period, but that light needs to be beefed up for it to become a full-fledged peace plan that would end up with respecting the rights of everyone in the region.
Dr. Varsen, another question on reconstruction. You know, the kind of state Palestine is now, how much time it will take for reconstruction work? I mean, that will take how much time?
It will take a lot of time because today there is so much rubble, millions of tons of rubble that need to be removed. That will take time. Most of the infrastructure is destroyed. So you can imagine what it takes to build your healthcare system, the education system, the water, the electricity, the housing for the 2 million displaced Palestinians in their own land in Gaza. Most of Palestinians today in Gaza live in tents, and if they live in intact structures, these structures are half destroyed and they are subject to falling at any time. It will take years.
We saw the Board of Peace, but India has not confirmed if it will join it or not. Your view on that?
I think every country needs to look at its interests and see how that Board of Peace is in line with its own interests and its own beliefs of what peace is all about and what it takes to make peace. And as such, India, I'm sure, will discuss internally, and all countries are sovereign, including India, and they need to decide what is best for themselves and what suits their values and beliefs.
You know, you are in Delhi, you'll be meeting our foreign minister today, and tomorrow you'll be meeting our prime minister. Anything special you would like to talk to them, to Mr. Jaishankar or to the prime minister? I
would like to say that you are the largest democracy in the world. You have been friends to Palestine and also to Israel. You can play a very important role of bridging, and you need to look at the interests of the whole region, because whatever happens in the region transcends beyond the region. And if there continues to be instability in the region, there is instability elsewhere, and it will touch countries of the world. So I believe we can all work together on forging the peace that would be in the best interest of all.
You know, our Prime Minister always talk about peace. Wherever he goes to the world, he take this message everywhere. So how hopeful you are, meeting our Prime Minister?
I have to stay hopeful in all my meetings. For me as a Palestinian, hope is not an option. I need to do whatever it takes to inject that hope and to translate that hope to something that materializes on the ground, and that materialization is towards the building of the independence of my state.
Dr. Varsen, also do you agree that Pakistan joining ISF is acceptable to Palestine? Because Israel has expressed its concern over it.
Look, Israel expresses concern over anything. And the peace process should not remain at the mercy of what Israel wants. Now, in terms of the Board of Peace and the peace process, every country has the right to assess, evaluate, and see where it wants to stand. As a Palestinian, I don't, force people, but every country has its own values, its own ideas, and can take whatever decision is in its best interest.
And I was talking about that Board of Peace. There is a membership fee also. How do you see it?
I think that this is challenged by many, and to me, if you want to go into a peace process, some countries cannot pay that membership fee, and if they are for peace, they should be allowed to be part of that process, because countries that cannot pay that amount can also bring another component to the table, and it's not just about the money we're talking about.
And if I talk about Palestine Authority, how do you see Palestine Authority's role? Because there is no presence of Palestine Authority at Gaza Board of Peace.
We need to do our best to have our voice heard, because in the final analysis, we are one of the key parties involved. And we would like to be around the table and not just part of the menu at the table. And as such, we will continue all efforts, us and our allies, to ensure that our voice is heard.
Dr. Varsen, do you see Palestine statehood possible? Is it possible?
Because that's the only option. Because there's no other option that will bring peace to the area. It is only the two states and the respect of the rights of the Palestinians as enshrined in international law. And I am hopeful, and we will continue working towards that end.
Because we have seen more states recognizing Palestine.
Yes. Yes, that's one of the measures that keep us moving, and we hope that more states come forward, because any state, any country that says it is for peace, it is for international law, it complies with international law, has to come forward and recognize the state.
Dr. Varsen, now let me talk about Hamas. Will Hamas give up its arms? Because there have been reports of Hamas leaders visiting India's neighborhood like Pakistan, Bangladesh.
Hamas has agreed to the terms of the peace plan. And in the peace plan, it talks about the decommissioning or the arms of Hamas. And as a Palestinian, I would like Hamas to do what is right in terms of preserving the Palestinian national project, preserving the integrity of the occupied state of Palestine.
Because you know, Israel has expressed its concern over it. Do you see it as a threat for the region?
I see Israel as a threat to the region. I mean, Israel is the occupier, and as such, there are measures that should be asked from an occupier state, and all sides that have agreed to the peace plan should go by the terms of that peace plan.
And what do you think the role of America is? Because President Trump, it's always there in his mind also.
President Trump is a maker, he's a doer, and if anyone can dictate to Israel, it would be President Trump, and we have seen it. So we expect and hope that President Trump continues doing what is right, and what is right is respecting the rights of both people, not one people over the other. And to me, as a Palestinian, it's about time that the rights of Palestinians come to the surface, and we tell the Palestinians that enough is enough, and you have suffered for decades, and your rights in international law need to be respected for the sake of peace, not only for Israel and Palestine, for the region and for the whole world.
You have been visiting many countries, you know. What do you expect from the international community?
To stand tall for what is right. We are asking nothing above international law, just international law, because until today, what counts is international law. We know international law is under attack, but it is not erased. I mean, maybe it's weakened, but it's not erased, because there's no other law today but international law, and we need to keep continuing pushing for that.
And you know, you are in India, you'll be meeting our External Affairs Minister today, tomorrow, Prime Minister. How hopeful you are that, you know, India, because we have been friends since long, so how do you see your visit to this country?
As I said, I want to remain hopeful, and I want to say we need to keep that friendship, because that friendship is in the best interest of everybody. Stay friends with Israel. We're not trying to delegitimize Israel. We just are trying to legitimize Palestine, and the time is right. It's now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Varsen, to give us time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.